Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-ba-dum. I'm going to shorten my little humming version to open tonight because I have a class after you folks, and I'm going to make this a tiny bit shorter. But next week, I want to let you know, for those of you who are my mighties, I will be with you, and we're only going to do 15 minutes with the general public and then 15 minutes with my mighties. So hello, my friends. My name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we're here to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to learn homeopathy the way that I know it. There are other people who know it slightly differently, perhaps even dramatically differently, but I'm going to teach you the way that I know. And so for those of you who already know me, welcome, friends. It's great to see you all. Love to see you coming in. I see everyone hopping in. Hi, Bob and Deb and Elaine and Pat and Paula. Hi, Paula. So great to see all of you. Tonight we're going to talk about, because we're going to end a little bit shorter. As I said, I've got a very large group tonight that I'm teaching that is a Gateway group. And for those of you who don't know about Gateway, do consider, just go to Joette's Learning Center, scroll down and go to Gateway, and consider joining a group or even starting a group, because then I get to meet with you and actually see you face to face every once in a while. I also want to give you a heads up on this coming Wednesday, the 21st of August. I will be presenting a presentation at the National Center for Homeopathy, the NCH, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It is free. And if you just go to JoetteCalabrese.com, you'll see the form. You can fill it out right there. Sign up. If you don't sign up, you won't get in, and it really is filling up pretty quickly. And they actually are limited as to the number of people that they can have join us that night. So we're doing pretty well. We got a lot of people signed up, but I think there's always room for more. And once you sign up, then if you miss, if you don't get in because there's a limited number, they will let you know when it's, because it'll be recorded. You'll be able to watch it a couple of days later. And so, because it's free, and I'm going to be talking about old gut. The old gut, the gut that people who are older like me have. And what to do about it, how we're going to approach it. So many of you already know a lot of the answers to this, but you know what? You can never learn too much, and you can never hear it too many times. And sometimes when we hear something just slightly differently than the way we learned it originally, it starts to click. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that remedy in that way. So let's start tonight with the gut, okay? Because we're talking about what do we do when we don't know what to do? And you can kind of categorize what's going on with this person. Is it a psychological problem? In other words, they're anxious, they're freaking, they're worried, they're crying, they're upset. Is it a psychological problem? A mental problem? Is it a physical problem, like such as in pain, like the joints are in pain, or the muscles or the tendons are painful, the back is painful, etc., headache, etc.? Is it that kind of condition? Is it a gut condition? Gastrointestinal, from the mouth all the way to the rectum? Is there anything that we can say is related to the entire gut system? We could go further. If it's a woman, can we say that this is a female condition? Can we say, so we're going to categorize it. We don't necessarily need to know exactly what's going on, my friends, to be able to be of help. I'm not going to tell you that this is exact. This is not at all exact. This is, holy cow, something's going on here. I don't know what it is. I don't know what medicine to give, but I'll just give this medicine, this homeopathic medicine, to get the case going. Perhaps give the person a little bit of relief, or give the person give yourself some time to see what comes. And as things progress, as you know, an illness or a condition or a suffering sometimes is unknown until it develops a little bit further. When someone starts coughing and is a cold, or we don't know what's a cold. Someone starts coughing, or they're shivering and they're cold, and they feel as though they've come down with something, as we normally say. You don't know whether or not that's going to be pneumonia. Is that going to be pneumonia? Is it going to be a cough? Is it going to be a flu? Is it going to be a garden variety cold? We don't know what it is yet, right? We just don't know. So I love some of the ideas you're coming up with already. Glenn says aconitum. You're right. Well, aconitum is one of our good ones. But I'm going to make it even easier than that. Yes, aconitum is a very good choice, particularly if it's whatever it is, it comes on quickly. But we'll go back to aconitum in a moment. I want to show you this medicine. And I don't know if they're still carrying it in this fashion. I don't make any money on showing you this, my friends. This is made by Highlands. It's an older bottle, and it's Bioplasma. Now, Bioplasma has 12 medicines in it all at one. All in one. Yes, a combination remedy, my friends. Yes, indeedy. This is a great medicine because it's got all 12. And sometimes all you need is this. Just start with this. Are they vomiting? Are they anxious? Are they restless? Are they in pain? What is in here? I'm going to break it down for you in a minute. But what's in this combination Bioplasma medicine is something, we have 12 medicines from which to choose, and might as well just use the whole kit and caboodle when we possibly can. I am a believer that combination medicines, many of them, not all, but many of them are very efficacious, very useful, and help you when you're in a difficult predicament. So, in Bioplasma are silica, nat phos, and nat mur, and magphos, excuse me, and let's see, Kali phos. I mean, I'm not going to go through all 12 of them, but I'm going to tell you that this can cover so much, the psychological, the pain, etc. So I'm going to show you how you're going to do this. You're going to open up the bottle, for those of you who don't know this, and you're going to pour in 4 to 5 pills. And I'm going to actually take this tonight because I have been, let's say, I'm a little overworked this last couple days, so I'm going to take this. Oh, I don't feel sick. I just feel, a little rundown, a little bit wound. Let's put it that way. Overwound. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a combination of 12 mineral cell salts vital to cellular health and function. Well, what they say on the outside of a bottle is marketing. I'm going to tell you that this particular company does make good product, and there are other companies, manufacturers, I should say, homeopathic pharmaceutical manufacturers, who also make a product that is very similar to this, all 12. Now, because I've been a little overworked in the last day and a half, I could have just used, here it is, all by itself, Kali phos. Indeed, Kali phos, 6X. Same company, same manufacturer, same pharmacy. This is not a distributor. This is a pharmacy. They also happen to have, they also sell to the general public. Now, Kali phos is in this combination medicine, and so I love that about it. And because Kali phos is for the central nervous system. Tonight when it's time to go to bed, I should be able to sleep well. Fall asleep properly, stay asleep most of the night. Maybe I'll get up once to go to the bathroom, but that's not so often. And then I'll go right back to bed and fall right back to sleep and sleep a good 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours, especially when I'm a little overworked. Sometimes I need to sleep 9 hours. So Kali phos is in there. I could have just used Kali phos because I knew that it was mental. Overwork, over-mentalization, feeling I don't feel anxious, I feel stressed, a little stressed, because I've got a lot on my plate this coming week. And so I feel just a little bit, it's really about a 3. But it's enough that I think it's worth taking something like this because even though these are medicines, my friend, they are so gentle. It's a 6X, low potency. And this will probably help me fall asleep. Now, it's not going to make me sleep now. No, it's going to make me sleep or allow me to sleep properly at the proper time. At the proper time. It will not make me drowsy the way a drug does. Homeopathy does not manipulate, my friends. Oh, thank you for, I think Natalie's with us tonight. Register for my free webinar. Okay. Then, what if I had pain? Unknown pain. Like, I don't even know what it is. There's just pain in my back, or there's pain in my head, or if for a younger woman, it's menstrual pain, or there's pain in a joint. And the person really feels so much more comfortable when they put a little hot water bottle on it. I don't use a heating pad. I don't use electric pads, but I do use hot water bottles. And so if you put a hot water bottle, it feels really comforted, not gone away necessarily, but it's comforted by some warmth and maybe a little pressure. Then we're going to use something like phos. Now, the same company also makes phos, but this happens to be from Washington Homeopathics, a reputable homeopathic pharmacy. And so look, see what it says, phos 6X, cramps. So it's also for leg cramps. It's also for insomnia. It's a great medicine for insomnia. So phos is for pain, something simple. We could use hypericum, couldn't we? We could use Cimicifuga, right? We could use caulifilum, but no, let's make this easy. Because caulifilum is more specific for the uterus. And Cimicifuga, also the uterus, but also the heart. And so we don't need to be that specific. We're going to make this really easy, really simple. We don't know what to do. Somebody in the household is freaking, and so are we, because we're so worried about making the right choices. We're going to go to, for example, phos. All right, now let's see what else we've got here. Let's say it's gut condition. It's indigestion, or it's eructations, or there's bloating, and it could be the ice cream that was just eaten last night. Could be the goofy pizza from the from the grocery store. It could be those kinds of things, and so it could be just growling and distension, and maybe even a little bit of pain. Then we're going to consider phos. Phos, my friends. Great for babies that have colic. You start right away. It's also great for, let me say this, if you take it before each meal, it often helps people lose a little weight. Isn't that a good thing to know, huh? So, phos. But we're talking about what to do during a predicament, okay? And I'm starting to use that word more often instead of illness and suffering and excruciatingly experiencing life. We're going to call what happens to us a predicament, because with a predicament we expect that there will be a resolution, and that's exactly what we're going to see most likely. So if it is from the mouth, again, all the way to the end, we're going to consider phos. Now, in any one of these, what are we going to do with them? How often are we going to use them? If it's severe, you could use them every 15 minutes for, say, the first hour. Don't do it any more than that, close together like that, but maybe only, or if it's not too severe, try a dose and then see how it goes. And then if you need another dose 15 minutes later, see how that goes, and see if another dose. And then if you start seeing a calming down, then back off. Open it up. You use a larger space of time between each time that you're going to be administering that medicine. And then maybe every 3 hours, only if it's still needed, my friends. You may not even need it anymore. Or you may find that you needed it a few doses, and then and it feels fine. You go to bed, things are good, you're much more comfortable, or your family member is much more comfortable. Next morning, wake up, indigestion, or eructations, or burping, etc. Now you can go right back to this again, phos. Yes. What about babies under 3 months old? Absolutely, Jen. This is one of our best medicines for infants, even with colic. Yes, even infants. And and this particular company, Highlands, the pilules dissolve instantly in the mouth, and you don't need 4 pills for an infant. You could use maybe 2. Very nice. Really great medicine. Really, really excellent. Okay, now let's talk about joints and muscles and back and fatigue and overuse of the body. Raking the leaves. Way too much time spent raking the leaves when we normally don't do it. Or in the winter, shoveling the snow, spending way too much time doing it when we normally don't do it. Or, again, inability to sleep. Or even worry. This medicine is so ubiquitous. It has so many wonderful values. Or there's an injury to the body from an external injury, a hematoma, or even a bloody nose, even menstrual cramps, and especially cramps that also are accompanied by flooding. It is our beautiful, one and only, top-notch Arnica, Montana. Arnica, Montana. There it is. Arnica, Montana. Now, you could use it in a 30. I have it here in a 200. You could use it in a 200 or a 30. Would I go higher? Not unless it was really, really understood exactly what's going on. I like to stay in the 30, the 6, the 30s, and maybe the 200 potencies because you don't really know. But as the condition develops, as it ripens, you're going to know more and more and more. Okay, let's say, I give my husband Nat Foss says, hi from Texas, says someone, because he felt a tinge of an ankle pain that was diagnosed as gout when he had an awful episode. It's been a long time since he took the homeopathic treatment that got him over intense pain. Arnica. Okay, thank you, Tina. You're absolutely right. The next medicine is Aconitum. Aconitum, Aconitum, or aconite for short. I don't have do I have my bottle here? No, I don't. But it comes in the same fashion, just like this from boron. You can get this directly from boron and boron, B-O-I-R-O-N. And my friends, if you go to boron's site, and then you order it, and you get to the bottom, just as you're checking out, in the little box, if you write my first name, Joette, Joette, you will get a discount. So I urge you to do that. Aconitum, let's go back to that. Something that comes on quickly, an onset that is really fast. You're driving along, you've got your kids in the back seat, your mom's in the car with you, and all of a sudden, and that's the key word, key phrase, all of a sudden, all of a sudden you feel, oh my, I don't feel well. Something's happening. When it's all of a sudden, Aconitum. Or you're driving in the car, your mom's sitting next to you, and the kids are in the back seat, and you're driving along, and you hit the car in front of you. Bam! No one's hurt, but oh my gosh, the feeling, that shocky feeling. All of a sudden, you were driving along, everything was fine. All of a sudden, this is how I feel now. Aconitum is for all of a sudden. Your child is playing during the day, and that night, all of a sudden, the child starts coughing like a barking dog. Horf, horf, like that. Aconitum, aconite. There is anxiety. All of a sudden, the person just feels something's wrong. I can't put my finger on it. It's not physical. It feels deeper than that, or it feels more psychological than that. And I feel this terrible anxiety or panic. And I was fine about an hour ago. All of a sudden, it's Aconitum. Now, when I use Aconitum, I really like to use it in a 200C. You can use it in a 30. These are not protocols, my friends. These are general ideas to get you back on track again. It'll buy you some time. They may not be the perfect medicines, but they will buy you time. Let's see what everyone's saying. Let's see. 200C and 200CK are interchangeable. Yes, they're basically the same. They're made a little differently, but they're pretty much the same. Okay, you've searched the internet says, you searched the repertoire and selected the seemingly correct remedy. How do you decide on the protocol, the dose to use, and how often to take it? Very good question. It all depends. That's why protocols are so valuable, my friends, because they are predetermined from clinical evidence over 100 years. You're absolutely right. What you're describing is the problem that classical homeopathy presents. Now what do? What potency? What frequency? How long should it be administered? You're absolutely right. And so that's what I teach in my courses and in my academy. So that might help you. Okay. Yeah, Heather says another idea is similar condition. Okay, let's see. There was something else here. Brenda says she too interchangeable. I saw something here that someone, Arnica and aconite are always with me. Yes, Tina, you're absolutely right. And the same for me. I always I never leave, the house without aconitum in my purse, which is why it's not here at my desk. It's in my purse. All righty, what else do we have? Let's see what other questions we might have here. My pup had a stroke Saturday, and I dosed all of us with aconite immediately, including the pup, my friends. Including the pup, Tina. The whole family, the shock. But especially the puppy. Yes. Yes. When my mother had a stroke years ago, I gave her aconitum and arnica. Yes. And Linda's asking. and carry arnica and phosphorus all the time. Phosphorus, not a bad choice. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just see if we've got anything else that I can add. In Europe, if you can't buy homeopathic, check out Germany and Great Britain. Well, you can buy homeopathy in France, and in Great Britain, we've got Helios, Helios. Nice to be back. What else do we have here? Something I wanted to read to you tonight. Where did it go? That I think is really important. This is not necessarily in relation to what we're discussing, but I really like Gilbert Welch, or Welsh. Welch, I think it is Welch. He said, trying to eliminate a problem, meaning a health problem, can be more dangerous than managing one. So in other words, sometimes we have to just learn to live with something and try to figure out how to do it on our own rather than trying to absolutely eliminate it through conventional medicine. He also says, early diagnoses can needlessly turn people into patients. In other words, test, and they will find. And many people will say, well, don't you want to find it? Well, not necessarily. And I want to point this out to you, my friends. If you look at your skin and you see how perfect is your skin, not perfect, right? There are blemishes. Some people might have warts. There's always something going on the body, right? We can see it because there it is on the outside, on the face. And for younger people, there might be blemishes and acne, etc. Now, if you go and you get an endoscopy and the myriad of other kinds of tests, they will find something, my friends. Something will be found. Why? Because the inside of the body is just like the outside of the body. There are issues. There are things. And if we go looking for a condition, we will likely find a condition. Now, we've been taught through the years, haven't we, that we should try to find things early. Because if you can find them early, you can treat them. Well, what is the treatment? Are you comfortable with the treatment that's going to be suggested? Do you want surgery for every little polyp or bump or concern or even an ulcer? Do you want that treated that way? Or do you want to try to figure out another way to go about doing this? Perhaps something you're eating is causing that ulcer. Perhaps you're using a nasal spray which is causing those polyps, etc., etc. Oh, Alice says, do the French pronounce it boiron? Yes, they do. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it quite right, but I sort of have the idea. Boiron is boron. That's our English pronunciation is boron. So do consider, my friends, being more mindful of living your life, learning how to treat your family and yourself using nature, good food, sunshine, a little exercise, and homeopathy. And you may find you may not be as frightened into going and having a checkup for every little thing. And he also said, this Gilbert Welch said, action is not reliably the right choice. Yes, sometimes we overact. And a lot of it is born out of anxiety. So we want to check that anxiety. Kelly phos, Ignatia, Aconitum for anxiety, Arsenicum album for anxiety, particularly anxiety regarding health, Argentum nitricum for anxiety, particularly around the subject of health. You see where I'm going with this? I hope that you do. So let's just see if there's anything else. Does arsenicum help effects of pharmaceuticals? It depends on how it's presenting. Indeed, it can. But check out my blog, Joette Calabrese. Stop it. Read that particular blog. Stop it. And the idea is how do we stop the action of a pharmaceutical? All righty. Arsenicum is usually related to burning and or anxiety, and even weakness. All right, my friends, I'm afraid I have to dash off. I'm going off. I wanted to get to this as much information as I could possibly get to tonight, and I will see you next week. Those who are my mighties, we're going to shorten the version on Monday Night Lives, and I'm going to do one half of it with the general public and the other half with Joette's mighty members. And so with that, I say, love you all. God bless you, and good night.
With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. My family needs a me, so I must know our remedies. How much to take, how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With our homeopathic protocols, you learn your remedies. Athusa no dairy, it's elementary with Arnica head, Arsenica fed, Spigelia slither, orms from wither, no more infirm. My family needs a me, so I improve my memory. Not only the rems, but how often to treat, and when to stop, and when to repeat. With your homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies. Bella so red and Arnica head, Drosera bark, Ignatia dark, source of frigid and cuprum to rigid, and crude itches, Kali Caponicum, let it melt on your gum, Bovies to wheat are some great ways to treat yellow. La 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 la, homeopathic protocols, learn your remedies.